Hi nursery, I'm going to tell you the story today of Goldilocks and the three bears. Are you ready? Have you got your listening ears? Okay. Once upon a time, there were three bears. Mummy bear, daddy bear and baby bear. And there was a little girl called Goldilocks in our story too, but we'll get to her in a minute. So, one day, baby bear got up and he said, "Wow, I'm so hungry this morning. Daddy, can we have some of your special porridge that you make?" Daddy bear said, "Of course I will make you some porridge." And off he went to the kitchen. Mummy bear thought it was a great idea because she was so hungry too. So they all went and sat at the table and waited for their porridge. Daddy bear got out his big pan and he put in the oats and he put in some milk and he gave it a big stir. He let it boil on the stove for a little while, and when it was ready, he put it into 3 bowls. A big bowl for Daddy Bear, a medium bowl for Mummy Bear, and a tiny bowl for Baby Bear. Now, they went to try and eat it, but it was too hot, so they decided to go for a walk to let it cool down. So off they went, round the woods for a little stroll, all together, having a nice good old chat as they walked. Meanwhile, somebody was going for a walk in the woods. It was a little girl called Goldilocks. Now she'd said bye-bye to her mum at her house and she'd gone for a little walk in the woods. As she was walking, she noticed the 3 bears' cottage through the trees and she wondered who lived there. She had a think and she thought, I wonder who lives in there. I might go and investigate. So off she went towards the house. She got to the house and she knocked on the door. But nobody answered. So she knocked again. But nobody answered. So do you know what she did? She opened the door and went inside. She shouldn't have gone inside, but she did. And she had a little look over in the kitchen and she saw some porridge. She could smell it. It smelled delicious. And she saw 3 bowls on the side. A big bowl, a medium bowl, and a tiny bowl. So she went over to the bowls. She picked up the spoon in the very big bowl and she had a taste. Ugh, that's too salty. I don't like that one. And she put the spoon back. Then she got the medium-sized bowl and took the spoon. Ugh, that's too sweet. I don't want to eat that. And she put the spoon back in. Then she got the tiny bowl and she had a little tiny taste. And she had another taste. And she had another taste. And then she loved it so much that she ate all of that porridge. By the time she looked at the bowl, it was empty. So she put it back on the side and she thought, oh, I'm so full now. That was delicious. I think I might need to have a little sit down. So she walked from the kitchen into the living room. And when she got in there, she noticed there were 3 chairs. There was a tiny chair. There was a medium-sized chair. And there was a big, giant chair. And as she walked in, she thought, oh, I'm going to sit on the giant chair. It looks so fancy. So in she went and she sat on the chair. It wasn't very comfy. It was a bit hard and she didn't like it. So she got down and she sat on the medium chair. Oh, this one's not very comfy either. It's a bit wobbly and it's a bit, I just don't like it. I'm not quite sure about this one. So then she sat on the tiny chair. And as she sat down, she thought it was so, so comfortable. She had a little wiggle, but just as she did, the chair fell over and it broke into pieces. Goldilocks was so sad. She said, oh my goodness, I didn't mean to break the chair. Oh, I'm so sad. It was so comfortable. What am I going to do? And she just didn't know. But then she thought, maybe I'll just have a little walk upstairs and have a little nap. That might make me feel better. So up the stairs she went. When she got upstairs, she noticed that there were 3 beds. There was a big bed. There was a medium-sized bed. and there was a tiny little bed, and she decided to try them out. So she got inside the big bed. She had a little wriggle in and she had a little lie down. But she didn't like it. It was too high and it was too hard. So she got out of that one. She didn't like that one. Then she got in the medium-sized bed. She had a little lie down. She had a wriggle, but the covers were too fluffy. It was not very comfortable. So then she got into the tiny bed. She got inside and she snuggled down onto the cushion, and she was so comfortable that she fell asleep. She started to snore. And before you knew it, she was in the deepest sleep ever. Meanwhile, in the woods, Baby Bear was walking along, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm so hungry now. Can we go home? I want to eat my porridge." Mummy and Daddy Bear said, "Yeah, you've got a point. It's time to go for porridge now. We're all extremely hungry." So off they went back to their house. They went inside the kitchen, and Baby Bear ran straight to his bowl. He was so hungry. But he looked in, and there was nothing in there. Mummy Bear looked in her bowl, and somebody had been eating it because the spoon had moved. Daddy Bear looked in his bowl, and somebody had been eating his too. He was not happy. They said, "Who's been eating our porridge?" And Baby Bear started to cry. "I'm so sad. Somebody's eaten all of my porridge, and I was looking forward to it so much." He was so sad. So they said, "Oh, let's go and have a little sit down, and we'll feel better after that." So off they went into the living room. Daddy Bear went in and sat on his chair. He was sat down nice and comfortable. Mummy Bear sat on her chair, and she was sat nice and comfortable. Then Baby Bear walked over to his chair, and he noticed it was on the floor in 2 pieces. "Mom! Dad! My chair is broke. It's on the floor. I've got nowhere to sit." He was so extremely sad. So Mummy Bear said, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. We'll go and get some glue and some nails and we'll fix it. Let's go and have a nap just to calm down and have a little rest." So they all went upstairs. Daddy Bear was so tired. He was even lying down on his chair. He had to be woken up. "Up you get, Dad." "Right, let's go." So up they went to the stairs. They went in the bedroom and they had a look at their beds. Daddy Bear noticed that his cushion had moved. He said, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed." Then Mummy Bear noticed that her cover was on the floor. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed," she said. And Baby Bear suddenly heard a noise. Shh, shh, shh. He heard somebody snoring. He said, "Mum, Dad, can you hear that? There's somebody snoring and I think they might be in my bed." Just then they looked over and they saw the golden hair leaning over the edge of the bed. They didn't know who it was. Do you remember who it was? Who was sleeping in their bed? Yeah. They walked over and they saw Goldilocks in Baby Bear's bed. She was sound asleep. They had a look, and then all of a sudden, as they got closer and closer, Goldilocks woke up. She turned around and she looked at the bears and she said, Oh no! She was so scared. She ran off all the way out of the house and all the way back to her home on the other side of the woods. The 3 bears didn't know what to say. They were like, I wonder what she was doing in here. We didn't mean to scare her, but I don't know why she was in our house. She shouldn't have come in without a grown-up. And we weren't even in. So they decided they'd had such a busy day and the porridge had all gone from Baby Bear's bowl. They went back down to the kitchen. Daddy Bear made some fresh porridge and they all had some lovely, lovely porridge together at the table. And they never saw Goldilocks ever, ever again. That's the end. Do you like that story? So see, I wonder if you can retell that story to your grown-ups. Maybe. Bye.